Imagine the following. Hold on. You're about to purchase a new home, and the real estate officer, he shows you pictures of the new home, and you haven't purchased yet, but while looking at the pictures, you think, whoa, this house has many rooms. And the real estate officer tells you it has 14 rooms. It also has 5 bathrooms, and there's an extended garden. Good to start a tiny vineyard. So you and your spouse, you're all in on it. So you ask him, how much does it cost? And he tells you $200,000. So you ask him, is it in Suriname? He says no. You ask him, is it in Brazil or is it somewhere in Indonesia? He tells you it's in Austria. And then you tell your wife, we need to let this go. And your wife tells the real estate officer, we'll let you know within a week. Even though your husband already made up his mind, you're not going to take it. And you're at home, and you tell your wife why you told her we need to let it go. You explain to her, dear, Europe is highly populated. We know that. And your wife says, yes, I know that, dear. So, dear, how come that in a highly populated area, Europe we're talking about here, that you can purchase a mansion like this for such a low price? Now, if it was built in a third world country or a country where there's a lot of space and where the raw materials are quite cheap, so there are less transportation costs for the materials to build the place, then I can understand that it can be quite cheap. I mean, you even have villas of 5 rooms for like $10,000 or some of those places. But how come such a big house in Europe, which is actually a mansion, not a house, it's a mansion, how can it be so cheap? Such a house with such a property in Europe should at least cost around 30 to 40 million euros. And your wife thinks, oh dear, you're right. It seems like a scam indeed. Now, when they heard about the offer, when they saw the offer, they were excited. But there was one detail that felt onto them that something was off with it, and it was the location. There was the context in which the building was located. Now, even if that offer was a real offer, and it could have gotten that place for such a low price, something else was wrong with the property that made the price so cheap. Either nobody wants the property because there's a hostile environment, so people around there are not charmed. People around there are mentally gone. All the psychic violence is going on around there. That may be a cause. Or the taxes that you have to pay are so high that eventually you pay $200,000. Now in euros it's like 190,000 euros, but eventually you'll have to pay like 50,000 a year in taxes. So within 10 years it's like $500,000. Or it can be that the area is contaminated by some radiation, whatever, and because of that, nobody really wants it, but to allow the property to just stand there, people are going to ask questions. So the local authorities have something to hide, so that's why they need to have someone to live on the property. Whatever is wrong with the property, something is terribly wrong, and that's why it's so cheap. Now, things can be cheap and of good quality, okay? I know it's rare, but it can happen. Just realize that in this world, when something is granted for free, often you are the price. It's either they want to trick you into some agreement, or it's a setup to later take you out or to rob you, or is have a leverage over you that can be used against you or over you later on. Now, genuine free stuff that are meant to do you well exist in the world. There are worldlings that do it. So don't think that just because someone just helps you out for a moment that they want to blackmail you. No. People can do good to you just for the sake of doing good to you without asking anything in return. What they should get in return is your appreciation and your motivation to do good to yourself also onto others. Because free actions don't exist anyway. But it happens that worldlings do good for the sake of doing good. It's rare, but it happens. What I want you to do, believer, is to check the context of when something happens and where it happens and how it happens. The context will reveal whether it's a trap or not. Don't just base it on past experiences nor on your own understanding. Check the context, believer. Be at peace.